My connection to this next guest is a perfect example of professional networking and personal branding. Today, I have Shelley from the LCM Group, and she's going to offer three sweet pieces of advice about unlocking your personal brand using her PI program here on Early Career Unlocked. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be here.
Yes, our story, just for our viewers, Shelly and I used to work at another company before in HR, and we never met. And
Yeah.
so over the years of being there, I've always heard how amazing Shelly is from our team members, how impactful her programs were, and then just how much our recruiting team loves learning from her. Because I was a recruiter, so I worked with her team, but not directly with Shelly. I knew after I left that I wanted to stay connected with you, especially on LinkedIn. And I followed all of your content in LinkedIn, and now here you are on my show.
Wow, I am so honored, and what an incredible story. And that's lesson number one is how do you build and maintain your network, right?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. I may not have met you in person or even met you
Yeah.
at the company, but I just wanted to stay in contact with you. That was my driver right there, was I really want to get to know Shelly because of what I know about Shelly. And then
Ah,
through my own personal network within the company that we worked at. And so I'm really honored to have you on the show.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And again, this is lesson number two now on why it's important to have an actual personal brand because your reputation goes ahead of you, right?
Exactly. And so I know you're going to be introducing Pi, which is going to
Yes.
elevate personal branding. But before we get
Yes.
started on that, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm one of those people who I think there's a running joke that I am everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I actually have a company and I own a brand called Pi, and Pi I'll talk to you a little bit more in detail about. Proud, inspired, empowered. But my company, LCM Group, basically we deliver brand training and workshops and summits for teens, young adults, and veterans. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. It's not a traditional personal branding outfit. We do work with B2B and organizations and things of that nature. But I'm excited to share a lot of what I've learned with your audience today.
It's wonderful that you created this company. So before we dive into the actual advice portion of it, how are you
Yeah.
knowledgeable in this topic of elevating your personal brand?
So I've been around for, listen, don't let the looks fool you. I've been around for so I was trying to count the years back. I started my career in 1992. So for those of you guys who are pulling out the calculators, it's more than 25 years. And I've worked in HR, marketing, sales, engineering, predominantly in communications and brand, predominantly in most of those areas. So collectively, I've been able to build some really incredible global programs, and I'm really strong with building values and culture. That's kind of what I do, and I'm very well known in the industry among my peers and colleagues, and just kind of well rounded. So what I'm bringing and what I'm sharing in within this organization is that knowledge to folks like your audience and business leaders as well.
I really like that the LCM group has so much to offer when it comes to teens, young adults,
Yes.
veterans, and I'm really inspired by the Pie Promise, which I know you're going to talk about. Our goal here is to offer advice about elevating your personal brand. So, what would
Yes.
you like to share with us today in terms of three pieces of advice?
So there's three things, and obviously, when we talk a lot about personal brands, and now I'm going to focus it and hone it on LinkedIn profiles, especially. And again, when we think about personal brands, it's not necessarily about creating a beautiful image on LinkedIn and telling people how fabulous you are, because you do have to understand who you actually are and your values and why people should remember you. And again, your personal brand is in the room. People know you before you get there a lot of times. But the three easy things that you can do to capture attention, at least with LinkedIn profiles, is really basic updating your profiles to actually establish your brand and what do you want to communicate. So I encourage a lot of you to go take a look at my profile. It's very simple, very easy things that you can do to update your employment history, things that you're proud of, having a really nice professional photo. A lot of that tells and communicates who you are before people even get to connect with you. The
Hmm.
second thing is when it comes to networking and connecting, I think a lot of us are still trying to exercise those muscles coming out of the pandemic, where for the most part we were using video, right? We're virtual
Right.
and we're shifting now to hybrid. And I don't know if any of you guys have had to do this, but I had to rework my networking muscles. So I have three goals as a rule when I'm networking and connecting. And so the three are: why are you networking? Who are you connecting with? And what will be your follow up? And I try to establish that, and that kind of takes some of the angst and the anxiety for me as I'm networking. And this is, this works for me whether it's virtual or in person. So making sure that you have some goals in place. What do you want to get out of that networking?
You're deepening those connections. You're just not
Yes.
willy-nilly adding people to your
Yeah.
network. You're really trying to
Yes.
deepen those connections so that your network is going to remember you. And that's the whole point of
Yeah.
building your personal brand.
Absolutely. When I say networking, if I get a connect, so a lot of times the connection, requests now that I get are people are trying to sell me something or trying to convince me of something. And
Right.
even in my response, I'm very mindful and intentional in the way that I respond. And that's actually a part of my brand. That's literally who I am. So I don't brush people off, and I may come back and say, thanks for reaching out. It's not a product that I'm looking at right now, but have a great week. Listen, that is a part of your personal brand, is having that kind of credibility and being respectful and people respecting you. So that is networking. Remember that the people on LinkedIn are actually people. So
Right.
I
That is
treat
correct.
those relationships as relationships. And LinkedIn has some great ways of reminding you if there's a birthday or someone's changed their job. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with saying great job, congratulations, have a great week. You know what I mean? Tagging someone and let them know how proud, inspired, empowered you are. By the way, on our LinkedIn page, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we put those out. That's free. So you can go on and tag someone and say, I'm really proud of you on Monday, inspired by you on Wednesday, and thank you for empowering me on Friday, right? So there's ways that you can build your networking. But again, you have to have the goals. What is it that you want out of that connection? Why are you doing this? Who are you connecting with? And really put some time into your follow up. The third area I wanted to talk about is mentorship. And mentorship matters. There is absolutely no way I would be, and I do believe I am very successful in my career, and I'm very grateful for that. But a lot of that is because I have mentors who are invested in my development. And so I encourage you to align yourself with mentors who are invested in your development, but they also have a future plan for sponsorship. And what does that mean? It's one thing to have someone who you're meeting with once a month or 30 minutes, and they're kind of talking you through maybe there's some things that you want to learn or develop personally or professionally. But the next step for that is sponsorship, and that's literally putting you out there. So I want my mentor to shift the sponsorship to be able to be in that room and say, I think Shelley would be great for that project. Or I know someone who might be able to, manage this situation. So shifting from just not just mentoring, but also shifting that into sponsorship, and just being very careful about who you select as a mentor. And you don't always have to choose someone who is, a senior level leader in your organization. Peer mentors work just as well. And it's also really great to have
Absolutely.
people in the industry. So, choosing mentors again who are invested in your development, but they have to have a plan for future sponsorship. Otherwise, for me, those people just become friends, no longer mentors.
So today, Shelly gave her best advice when it comes to elevating your personal brand. So, three things to remember. One, capture attention with an updated LinkedIn profile. Two, use LCM's Group 3 goal rules when networking and connecting. And three, mentorship matters. To close, Shelly, do you have anything else you would like to offer?
Yeah, so listen, at LCM Group, we do offer affordable courses called Brand Bites, and a lot of personal brand training hosted by Teachable. So if you visit our site, you can learn more information. There's also a section on our site where we have free downloads just for encouragement. So listen, job search is very tough. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys have access to things that are free, that are encouraging, and that you can access this. So that's on our site. Follow us on social media. Again, we're always pushing information out that's free and available, and join our Pi community. And we just love to hear from you. So So we'll be watching. Connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I want to hear from those of you who are, you should be following Aaliyah, by the way.
Thank
Okay.
you. I
This
appreciate
is
that.
your number one source. So follow her, and follow her again. And make sure you share and love everything that she does. That's really important to get the message out. But again, connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know how things are going with you. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, you're very welcome. I am truly honored you're here and offering such great advice, especially to early career talent, students,
Yes.
new grads, folks who are just developing in their career. I will provide the link below in the description, and I highly recommend to our viewers to check out Shelley's website, check out the LMC group, and engage with Shelley on LinkedIn. She is an absolutely fantastic resource and just a good human being to be connected to. I know that personally. So again, thank you, Shelley, for being here. And then to our viewers, for more career advice from industry experts like Shelley, every week it's going to be here on Early Career Unlocked.